The square root function is a function whose rule looks like the function f evaluated at x is equal to the square root of x. So we've already talked about the square root function in terms of the domain, and we know that what's underneath that square root has to be bigger than or equal to 0, right? It has to be positive when we talk about the domain. So if we look at this example where we have the square root of 4 minus x, okay, if we talk about the domain of that function, we know that 4 minus x has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if we solve that inequality, subtract 4 from both sides, we have negative x is greater than or equal to negative 4. And then we divide or multiply, either one, by a negative 1. Now, in inequalities, when you multiply or divide by a negative, that flips that inequality. Perfect. So x is less than or equal to a positive 4. Okay. So right there, that gives you your starting point. That tells you that you only want to draw this graph where x is less than or equal to 4. Okay? So let's pick values that are less than or equal to 4. Now, technically, you can plug in any value that you want that's less than or equal to 4. I'm going to choose values that make it very simple to plug into the square root. So, let's see. Let's do negative 5, 0, and we'll do the 4. Okay. Are we including the 4 based on our inequality here? Yes. It's less than or equal to, so we are including that point. Okay, so I'm going to substitute in negative 5. I'm going to evaluate it in my function. So in our function, evaluated at negative 5, we're going to have the square root of 4 minus a negative 5. Okay, be careful with your negatives. Bumped up, they become positive. So we have the square root of 9, which is 3. So we have the point negative 5, 3. What do we get when we plug in 0? Two. Sounds good, right? You have 4 minus 0, which is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay. When you substitute in 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. Square root of 0 is 0. Okay. So here are 3 points.
What's the square root of 1?
1. Square root of 1 is 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1, right? Yeah. Okay. So we have the point negative 5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So I go left 5 and up 3. We have the point 0, 2. And we have the point 4, 0. Okay. So the square root function kind of looks like an arc. And so our starting point, right, is x is less than or equal to 4. So we're going to graph to the left. And so our arc is going to go to the left. And there's your square root function.